I have one tool or one technique that will help you stay heart centered when you are being triggered, especially in a conversation with someone. And the reason why I want to tell you about this technique is because it happens more often than not. Why? Because relationships are our greatest assignments in this beautiful adventure called life. Relationships are the ways that we open our hearts and learn how to love more openly, more unconditionally. And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, relationships that are very triggering, they turn into our biggest teachers. I don't have to tell you this. I'm sure you know that by now. Or maybe you didn't, or maybe you've never called them your teachers, but this is a way of reframing difficult relationships. So, today I have a technique for you. The other day I asked you, what do you like for content and video? People told me, I love videos that are quick. So I'm going to be quick in this one so that you learn something that you can do when you're highly, highly triggered. Hi, Shelly. So good to see you. So here's what you do when you're in a conversation, especially if you're in front of that person and you know when you're getting triggered because you start having body sensations, you start getting your face red, probably starts getting a little hot, or you start feeling that thing in your stomach and you start noticing that you're getting defensive, that you want to be right. Now, usually we notice more when we have worked on our self-awareness. The more self-aware you are, the more connected to your body you will be when you're triggered. If it's hard for you, I suggest to you that you work on your self-awareness. Meditation, mindfulness is a great way of doing that, doing therapy, doing all the modalities that are out there. I'm not going to get there right now. But so the more you've been on this path, the more self-aware you are, and the easier it is to notice your body. So I know that when I'm being triggered in a conversation, I know immediately how I feel that like little edge, that I start getting like a little defensive, and the tendency of passive aggressiveness, like I'm not going to tell you, but I'm going to tell you. I know when it starts getting there, and I know immediately that it is a call to go into my heart. Just pause right there within myself and go into my heart, because it can get very egoic. It can get very ugly. And here's the thing, when you have two egos trying to be right, is never going to be productive. Never. Have you ever convinced someone to think like you think when they're highly triggered, when you're in a conversation? You've never done that, because we all want to be right. It just makes us feel safer if we have the truth. Now, because you're a conscious being, because you're a seeker, because you're watching this video, I know you want to know this technique. So here I go. This is a beautiful technique. So you notice, first step, you notice, ooh, I'm feeling it, I'm feeling. So instead of keeping the attack, you're gonna go into you, and you're going to start breathing. Now, I'm not saying stop the conversation right there, or maybe you want to stop the conversation right there, but let's say you're talking, you're noticing. One thing is that you let the other person talk, so you have the time for you to start breathing. And now you tell yourself, look for your heart. You can tell yourself that phrase. Sometimes I just go, ooh, this is getting difficult. So I just, with my attention, I go right here and I start breathing in and out. I don't know if you guys can hear the monkeys, but the monkeys are the holler monkeys are hollering right now. But anyway, so you start looking for your heart, placing your awareness in your heart, and you start breathing into your heart. The person doesn't have to know it. You just want to do it so that you can come from here, not from the ego mind. So you start breathing in and out. Now, one thing I like to do is to imagine that there is light coming from the crown of my head, from my crown chakra, down to my heart and out of my hands. The light comes into my head, down to my heart, out of my hand, and I start sending light to that person, especially if this is an intense situation. I remember a year ago exactly, there was a neighbor, and I don't think she was, I think she had mental problems, and she was having a breakdown, and I was having a conversation with her, and I knew we weren't going anywhere. And I just started looking for my heart. So I looked for my heart. I started breathing in and out, sending light to her. And I knew I was able to be guided by my higher self. And I knew when was the time to step out, and I knew when we weren't communicating anymore. I was being guided by higher consciousness, not my ego. Now, why we want to do this? Because we get to navigate our relationships in a different way. Now, don't believe me. Test it for yourself. So now I have a pro tip. If you're ready to go a little deeper, especially if this is someone you love, you're going to imagine light coming into your crown chakra, breathing into your heart, exhaling out your hands. Again, all of this, the person doesn't have to see it. They don't have to know you're doing this. But then, pro tip, if you're ready to go a little deeper, especially if you love this person, I want you to think about all the beautiful things you appreciate about them. Now, I know this is hard, so that's why I say it's a pro tip. If you're a pro in your awareness, and if you're not, don't judge yourself. Sometimes we are, sometimes we're not, and that's all right. But if you love this person, start appreciating their smile, their passion. Start appreciating things about them and start sending that light with your appreciation. It gets you into your heart. Now, I'm not saying we're denying. I'm not saying that you are allowing the person to cross boundaries, because this is not a conversation about boundaries. I'm talking about having a conversation centered in your heart. You will know, you will be guided to what to say, what not to say, where to go, when to leave. You'll be guided by your highest self. But here's what you do. You notice your trigger, and then immediately you tell yourself, go to your heart, start breathing. Now, it sometimes doesn't have to be a confrontation. It could be that the person, it's in a space of victimhood. It could be that the person, it's in a very intense space, and you don't know how to help them, and you go, oh my God, I don't know what to say. You just breathe. You just breathe into your heart, and oh my God, I tell you, it always brings it. This is what is called holding space. You just breathe. You don't have to say much. Just you breathing for the other, breathing in light, exhaling light. And again, if you have to remove yourself from the conversation, you'll know when to do it. So I'm not saying accept abuse. I hope you like this technique as much as I like it. So, hi Joshua, thank you so much. So, Shelly, I feel this morning I yell at my husband. That's all right. Forgive yourself. Begin again. And perhaps you may say to him, I want you to forgive me. Don't say I'm sorry if. Don't say the if. I'm sorry if. That if kills the apology. It kills it. Say I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's it. Okay, that's beautiful. So you guys, this is my little tip for today. Breathe in light, go into your heart, exhale out your hands. Pro tip, inhale light into your heart. Think about things you appreciate about the other. Exhale it out. You will be guided. This is amazing. Test it out. Tell me how it goes. Goodbye. Have a great day.